Pick a side, pick your poison. Pick a side, pick your poison. Pick a side, pick your poison. Ain't no picking on me, y'all about to get me going.
My name is Jay the Dragon, and welcome to my build guide series, where I will explain how to build the X-Men as playable characters in 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. This video is timestamped so you can skip to where you need, with a link in the description for the written version. My disclaimers are as follows. Official, third party, UA, homebrew, in that order. Mechanics over description, flavor is always optional. Builds work in every tier of play. And lastly, magic items are not requirements for a build to work. Aurora Monroe, aka Storm, has the incredible ability to control the weather and atmosphere to a molecular degree. In her native Kenya, she was regarded as a goddess and hails from a long line of magic-using rain gallers, and in a startling contrast survived as a pickpocket in Cairo. She is potentially one of the most powerful mutants on Earth, limited only by her willpower and physical endurance. But the strength of her storms can multiply in moments of intense emotion. Storm is one of the premier leaders of the X-Men, and next in command of the Xavier Institute after Charles Xavier. Using point buy, I gave Storm 8, 12, 14, 8, 14, 15, with +2 dexterity and +1 charisma gained from race. I used Air Genasi to get her windswept white hair, resistance to lightning damage, and extra weather spells, and an indefinite breath hold. The criminal background gives her thieves' tools, deception, and stealth, and arcana and intimidation come from Sorceress. Level progression. Start with 8 levels in Sorceress, 6 levels in Cleric, and finish with 6 more in Sorceress. From Storm Sorcery, gain Tempestuous Magic. Command the elements for a 10-foot reposition as a bonus action when you cast a leveled spell. This combined with the many pushing, slowing, and hindering spell effects make her very hard to approach. Cantrips gained are Frostbite, ice over a target and inhibit its attacks. Ray of Frost, send a piercing cold that makes it harder to move. Thunderclap, strike a minor lightning bolt onto your spot to scatter nearby enemies with its thunder. Lightning Lure, deal lightning damage to a target within reach. Shocking Grasp gained from race, strike an enemy with a lightning charged fist. First level spells, Mage Armor, your protective X-Man uniform. Thunder Wave, strike a warning lightning bolt in front of you to let its thunderclap blast enemies away. Second level Sorceress, Font of Magic, gain first level spell, Shield, intercept an attack with a deflecting air blast. Third level Sorceress, gain Meta Magic, Quicken to accelerate spells with ongoing action effects like Call Lightning and Whirlwind to combine with other spells in ongoing rounds. Transmuted spell to change any fire, cold, thunder, or acid damaging spell into lightning damage. Gain second level spells. Flaming Sphere, change with meta magic to lightning damage to direct ball lightning to a small AoE even on save. And gained from race, Feather Fall, catch yourselves or others in a cushion of air when falling. Fourth level Sorceress, ASI, gain +2 charisma here. Gain a cantrip, Minor Illusion, a curtain of fog hides you from sight. And gain a second level spell, Mirror Image, rapid winds obscure your exact location. 5th level Sorceress, gain 3rd level spells, Lightning Bolt, for when it's time to stop being gentle. Lightning cracks from your hands and through anything foolish enough to face you. And gain from race, Levitate, lift yourself or your target in a cyclone. 6th level Sorceress, Heart of the Storm, half sword level of damage to nearby enemies when you cast a lightning or thunder damaging spell. Storm Guide, subtly control the weather around you. And gain a 3rd level spell, Fly, control the wind to propel yourself through the skies. Multiclassing now to literalize Storm's penchant for making grand requests to the forces of nature before casting her spells, by actually becoming a priestess of the weather. 1st level Cleric, Wrath of the Storm, strike back at a target that dares touch you with a smiting lightning bolt. Cantrips gained, Guidance, Your natural leadership aids your team to success. Resistance. Wind armor shields yourself or an ally from an energy attack. Thaumaturgy. Your eyes crackle and your voice booms as you summon your mutant wrath. First level spells. Fog Cloud from the domain. Cover a field of impenetrable fog. Thunderwave from the domain. For now redundant with the preferred Sorceress obtained version. Healing Word. Refresh an ally to bolster them with an encouraging wind. Sanctuary. Shield yourself or an ally from harm with a cocoon of whirling air. Second level of Cleric, Destructive Wrath. Maximize lightning damage for a game-changing burst potential. Gain a first level spell. Guiding Bolt. Lead the assault with a penetrating lightning bolt that leaves defenses wide open. Third level Cleric, gain second level spells. Shatter from the domain. Blast through enemies and object alike with a powerful lightning blast. Gust of Wind from the domain. Repel advances from a direction with a powerful wind storm. And Silence. Steal the air from an area, blocking sound and preventing speech. Fourth level Cleric, ASI, +2 Charisma. Gain a cantrip, Spare the Dying. Stabilize a recently fallen ally with a defibrillation shock. Second level spell, Hold Person. Paralyze an enemy by scrambling the electrical circuits of the brain. Fifth level Cleric, third level spell, Sleet Storm from the domain. Shut down an area in a ferocious torrent that obscures and prones opponents. Call Lightning from the domain. Summon a great storm cloud over the battlefield and strike with pinpointed lightning each round. And Revivify. Defibrillate a recently fallen ally to restore them to the living. Sixth level Cleric, Thunderous Strike. Push targets back each and every time you deal lightning damage with no save. Gain a second level Channel Divinity, use per short or long rest. Additional spell prepared, Lesser Restoration. Wind and Rain refresh an ally to clear them of negative conditions. Crossing back again for 7th level Sorceress. 4th level spell, Storm Sphere. Claim dominance over the battlefield with a foreboding storm cloud, then rake selected targets with your lightning. And trade out Thunderwave for Rhymes Binding Ice. Cast a wide cone of frost and reduce movements to 0. Transmute this to lightning to also cause an AoE push even on a save. 8th level Sorceress, ASI, +2 Dexterity. Gain a 4th level spell, Ice Storm. Thick hail showers an area, damaging and inhibiting movement. 9th level Sorceress, gain a 5th level spell, Cone of Cold. Blast an area with bitter cold, freezing defeated enemies in place. 10th level Sorceress, gain another meta magic, Twinned, to multiply single target spells such as Haste, Levitate, Sanctuary, or Revivify. Gain a cantrip, Gust, push something from afar with a current of air. Additional spell known. I go back to the 3rd level spell picks to get Slow, limit a group of enemies under a torrential wind and rain. 11th level Sorceress. Gain a 6th level spell, Chain Lightning. Strike with a more powerful lightning bolt that forks into nearby additional targets. 12th level Sorceress, ASI, +2 Dex. Gain an additional spell known. I once again revisit 3rd levels and add Haste. Put wind at the back of yourself or your allies. 13th level Sorceress. Gain a 7th level spell, Whirlwind. Whip up every enemy and object in a massive tornado. 14th level Sorceress, Storm's Fury. Sorc level lightning damage and a 20-foot knockback to a melee attacker. Additional spell known. I prefer to take Hold Person again by using Charisma, if not at an earlier level. With multi-classing spell slots, you still have the slots of a 20th level full caster, so 2 6s and 7s, and 1 8th and 9th. Magic item wishlist. Elemental Essence Shard of Wind. Gain way more mobility and freedom while casting. Cloak of the Manta Ray for the iconic cape shape and an incidental swim speed should you need it. Ring of Feather Falling for an always-on featherfall just in case. And Tome of Leadership and Influence for 2 more charisma up to a new maximum of 22. Tactics. Tasha's optional class features give Storm a great tool and transmuted spell, making any fire, cold, thunder, poison, or acid damaging spell changeable to lightning damage for 1 sorc point, making greater use of her subclass features. Cantrips are also eligible for this, though you can run out of sorc points quickly and can't apply this and different meta magics such as Quickened at the same time. One compelling new option would be Flaming Sphere. Change it to lightning damage, and it will last for its full 1 minute duration, making a small radius that enemies can't end their turn adjacent to without incurring damage and a 10-foot knockback even if they make it save, since save on half still means taking some lightning damage and the knockback from Tempest. You can direct it as a bonus action to launch at enemies and knock them away, making it a great addition to your cantrip game for consistent control. Storm Sphere grants you a bonus action lightning strike with advantage each round and a 40-foot sphere of difficult terrain, which requires double movement to get through for melee attacking enemies. Heart of the Storm causes extra lightning damage to nearby upon casting, and Tempest Cleric lets lightning damage carry 10 feet of knockback, pushing targets back into the difficult terrain. Your standard action can be used on additional movement control that doesn't take concentration, such as the Ray of Frost cantrips for subtracting 10 speed, Lightning Lure to instead exploit low strength saves for a 20-foot knockback, or Thunderwave to push multiple foes 20 feet at once when combined with Heart of the Storm, or even 30 feet when transmuted for lightning damage. After pushing foes, use your movement to kite foes around the Storm Sphere radius as needed. If anything ever does strike you with melee, reaction Storm's Fury will send them 30 feet back again. Against more ranged attackers and spellcasters, you can instead drop a Sleet Storm on their area, forcing them to retreat and be useless due to obscurement or approach and be at risk. Also ruins concentrations to defeat spells. This area is 80 feet across with difficult terrain and 0 visibility, so it'll be another round at the very least before they can leave it. And a Thunderwave can send them right back in, further limiting them. Your best area control hands down is Whirlwind. You create a tornado that sucks up any object, medium or smaller, and any creature large or smaller, pulling them into the top of the tornado to make them restrained. You steer it around and drive it into other creatures, taking up as many as you can catch, and they all take an ongoing 10d6 every round for a minute. By casting this with the Quickened meta magic, you will place it as a bonus action and push it along 30 feet as a action in the same turn, restraining and damaging a 20-foot by 50-foot line in an instant. Your allies can range attack them with advantage, or target their disadvantaged dex saves. It takes your standard action to move it around, so Quicken Ice Storm for some difficult terrain if you need to snatch up any runners. Call Lightning lets you deal a 5-foot radius lightning damage upon casting, and again as a standard action while maintaining its concentration. By casting it with the Quicken meta magic, you can deal doubled bolts on the initial round, even knocking groups of enemies into each other for the next bolt to catch more targets. The damage upcasts well, 3d10 per bolt as a third, with another 1d10 per level higher, counting double with the Quickened trick once. A 5th level cast will deal 5d10 to a small area, push targets up to 10 feet to potentially fall into other creatures, then another 5d10 dealt to all of them, pushing the whole group 10 feet more. Maintain concentration to continue to deal 5d10 bolts to a 5-foot radius as a standard action with no additional cost. If cast outdoors in stormy weather, you take control of the existing storm cloud and all damage is increased by an additional 1d10 per hit. You maximize lightning damage twice per short or long rest, which greatly incentivizes catching as many opponents as you can into an AoE lightning spell. Concentrating slow beforehand can hinder dex saves and limit scattering if needed. Lightning Bolt for 8d6 to a 100-foot by 5-foot line, or Chained Lightning for 10d8 to 4 targets within 30 feet of each other. Chained Lightning is more lenient for targeting, and adds another target reached for each spell slot above 6th, a worthy use of the 9th slot if you have 7 targets to blast. Lightning Bolt upcast by damage, and ends up slightly higher than Chained Lightning's damage, potentially targeting more enemies if they are all lined up for it. If a group of enemies are unfortunate enough to face you at the end of a narrow hallway, it'll be the last thing they do. This concludes my guide on how to play Storm. As just a fun extra, if you were to build a mini of Storm, this is how she might look. I do hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any thoughts on what you do to improve it, questions, or if you've played this, feedback on how I went, or anything else, please leave a comment. Definitely subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications, as I have many more builds on the way. And as always, thank you for watching.
Pick a side, pick your poison. Pick a side, pick your poison.